Sri Ram tells Hanuman, it is the shadow of the Paramatman, the divine, that you see reflected in all living beings, or Jivatman. Don't you see the great sky reflected in each and every lake or river? The Paramatman is the sky which is stationary. Its reflections are not permanent. All visible living things are only its reflections. So, the first thing to understand about Sri Ram's profound utterances is that we need a great patience of mind, a great receptivity of mind to what is being said. That just as the sky has a reflection in various rivers, various lakes, various puddles, so too is the divine reflected in each being. The divine is reflected in each being from the highest to the lowest. It's just that we don't have the eyes to see it. And the whole quest of mysticism, the whole spirituality, can be summed up as cultivating the eye, the meditative eye, to be able to see the highest principle in the most ordinary thing. This is very interesting. Now, if you go into the level of quantum physics, if you go into atomic physics, what is most striking about existence is that all things, no matter how big, how small, are fundamentally the same at that quantum level, at that subatomic level. All things are comprised of the same, essential. It is reminiscent of the Upanishadic story about what is in the seed of the banyan seed, what is in the inside of the banyan seed. It is the same reality. It seems almost like a nothingness. It seems almost like a vast space, a vast solar system, but there is more space than matter, there is more energy than matter at that subatomic level. So, in a very subtle way, the smallest is reflective of the largest. This is true not only when Sri Ram says it, but even at the level of physics that we can see today. Therefore, this very Vedantic attitude of the world is not only subjectively real, but objectively real. Not only materially manifest, but also spiritually or mystically manifest. And that is the greatness of this entirety of Sanatan Dharma, this entirety of profound thought from the soil of India. That at the energy level, some things may be low in energy, some things may be high in energy, but fundamentally they are joined by the same energy. And that is essentially what is the creator of true confidence within a human being. If you understand this, you move towards true contentment, true confidence, true possibility realization in your life. If you don't understand this, no further spiritual development is possible. Then that great confidence cannot arise in you, because you'll always feel yourself as separate from this entirety of existence. And what Sri Ram is saying is that you are a reflection of the divine. Therefore, respect that. Therefore, feel yourself as part and parcel of the immensity of this universe. Feel that its energy has penetrated you. Feel that you are fully awakened. Never put yourself down. All it requires is a little right mindfulness, a little patience to transcend the idea that we are somehow different from the higher principle. No, we are joined to the higher principle. And that is what Sri Ram is telling Hanuman. From the outside, the large and the small differ. A small living being is very minute compared to the immensity of the solar system, The solar system is very minute compared to the immensity of the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is very small compared to the immensity of the cosmos, of the universe itself. So, in a relative way, everything looks small, but essentially everything is a reflection of the same reality. The innermost core remains the same. And that is what the whole idea of spirituality is. That is what the whole idea of this very profound teaching is. The only reason we are miserable in life is that we do not realize this truth to be truth. We are lost in so many things of the world that this most fundamental teaching is lost. And this utterance of Sri Ram is bringing us back to the most fundamentally profound meditative realization which the sages echoed, which the Upanishads are about, which the Vedas are about, and so on. So the outside appearance may look ordinary. You may look at a living being as an ordinary comprised of material elements and so on. But the inner reality is, according to these teachings, something of the essential, something which transcends the ordinary, something which is ever blissful. And when you look at this, not only at yourself, but at others with this eye, then your consciousness expands. Then you don't even need to go to any place of worship. Then the whole existence becomes a place of worship, because the way you look at everything, from a blade of grass onwards, looks to you like it is imbued with the divine, and that creates a special bliss in life, that creates a different experience of life. It creates an essential joy. It creates an essential confidence. It creates an essential power within you, because you realize the multidimensionality of all things. You realize the infinity built into the most finite matter. You can see the immeasurable within the measurable. You can see that which is beyond the mind within the consciousness of the mind. You can see a higher logic at work. And through all this, a real trust arises within your own life. You attain to a certain courage, a certain energy, a certain fearlessness. You feel no matter what, there's nothing to worry about in life. There's nothing essentially to get anxious about in life, because you are comprised of that same truth, consciousness, bliss, which is the quality of the Paramatma, which is the quality of the ultimate principle. This very idea transforms your potential into becoming actualized, into becoming reality. And that is the most blissful thing in life. You move towards an egoless state. What is ego? Ego is a very small state of being. You confine yourself in small parameters. This realization which Ram is telling Hanuman is basically moving towards a state of egolessness, so much so that you are dissolved in the larger truth of things. And when you are dissolved in the larger truth of things, you don't become a nothing, rather you become an infinite. So in a way you become nothing, but you become more and more towards your infinite realization of potential. And this creates a flow of cheerfulness, this creates a flow of bliss, this creates a flow of tremendous energy within you, which cannot be taken away, which really satiates you. And you develop a friendly relationship with the universe. You see, most of us have this relationship of conflict, not only with our own selves, within our own mind, but our relationship with the world, with the cosmos, with the fellow beings on earth, and so on, is one of conflict. We feel threatened. We feel as if things are somehow opposed to us. And that is because we don't realize the essential thread joining them is the same. At the circumference we are different, but at the center we are the same. Because the same reflection of that higher principle called the Paramatman is reflecting itself through us in individual ways. It reflects. So when the example given is just as the sky reflects in different lakes, rivers, puddles, and so on. So just as depending on the character of the lake, the sky will be reflected. Depending on the muddiness or the purity of the river, the sky will be reflected. So that is up to us. Each individual will reflect the Paramatman in their own individual way, in their own unique way. That is individuality, that is good. But really, essentially, the absoluteness of commonality is there. And in that way, you attain to a sense of communion with other people. You come to a more friendly understanding of humanity. And not only a communion with other people, you come into a communion with the universe itself, with life itself, with existence itself. You become a great receptivity. You become passive instead of being aggressive. There's no need to be aggressive. You are part of the same reality. You are simply representative of that same greater which is reflecting through you. And that is the secret of unity. That is if humanity understands this at a fundamental level, humanity will relax with each other. Human beings will relax with each other because they will not consider themselves as separate from the other. They will consider each other just as different expressions of the same reality, different reflections. The whole cause of violence, aggressiveness, anger in the world is what? It is simply because people are not open to this larger truth, and therefore they don't trust each other. They don't even trust themselves. They're imprisoned in a situation where they feel that they are caught in this particular individual mind body complex. And they do not realize that actually this mind body complex is reflective of a higher logic. And that higher logic is the logic of the absolute, the greater, what is called Paramatman. It's not literally God as such, but it is the highest principle, the highest consciousness. And the vision to look at this highest consciousness as being reflective in all things is the beginning of a profound adventure, a spiritual opening in life.